Mm, okay, let me bring up my presentation. So, uh, hi Lokesh. Today we're going with the official class for AWS DevOps, and we are going to start with Linux. So yesterday we had a little intro about AWS DevOps, and today we'll be seeing like what is Linux and how we are going to set up a Linux server from the cloud, and we'll be seeing the basic Linux commands as well. Okay, so Linux it's actually an OS similar to your Windows, but you will not be having any GUI here. As I said before, because GUI will not be more convenient for Linux. Mostly you will be using command lines to execute any uh, process in the Linux. So it's free and it's a open source. Um, because it's a free platform, you can take in the next version and you can do some customization on your own, and you can keep your own Linux flavor as well. Like you can do some customization of any commands that even possible in the basic Linux as well. You can change some libraries, you can create new services for your new applications. Those kind of features is actually available in Linux. So obviously it's available in Windows, but it will be more convenient in Linux. That's the more strong area that every people they started to use Linux. So and this was initially by created by Linux Torvald. Um, and it was created by Linux Torvalds in 1991. Since that, Linux has grown as it's providing a much contribution in the cloud computing. So, so I yesterday told like there was like Linux has a lot of distributions, like Linux has Ubuntu, CentOS, Debian, Alpine. So mostly the commands are will be same, like the binaries and libraries is going to change, and few of the command lines are going to be changed. So this Ubuntu, it's like a user friendly and cloud preferred, but this CentOS and Red Hat, you should get an license from the Red Hat. There is
Hmm.
something association called Red Hat. Uh, you have to get an if you want to like a Windows, the Windows vision which you hold, like if you have to use the Word or Excel, you should have a license. Do you aware about that?
Yes, sir.
Similar to if you want to use the Linux that provided by Red Hat Enterprise, then you should have a license for that. Similar to like Ubuntu is free. Obviously, even in the cloud, they take the Ubuntu, they made some customization. So they are like in cloud in Amazon, they are offering their own Ubuntu. It's not the Ubuntu image that you take from the Google or something that you install and you work. That is different. And whatever the Alpine image that we have in Ubuntu that we have in cloud is different. So a lot of Linux versions are there. Um, so starting with some basics, let me like explain. Uh, okay, before explaining this Linux file structure, I would like first to be like uh, show you that some demo on the AWS. So we probably see how we can get an your your AWS account in the cloud. So I got an account set up for me. So it's very easy. Like you have to just type AWS account creation. It's similar to that whatever you create a Facebook or Instagram, it's similar to that, and create an AWS account. Um, and do create an account. Oh, my account is already created, that's why it's directly logging me. If you create an account, it will ask for your basic details like username, email ID, and then in the next section it's going to be ask your credit card, and then going to ask your PAN card and basic details of your account. Once it's done, it will give and some verification to to your email. Once if you confirm, your AWS account is going to create it. I hope you can got it, and it's not like a very big deal. It's similar to how you create a Facebook or Instagram accounts, and it is very common. If possible, if you have any credit cards, I know like you don't have like, so if somebody asks, we will be creating an account in our in our live class itself. For now, this is the AWS console. This is my account. I'm just getting familiar, just little familiar, getting familiar with you for this account. See, this is how the AWS console. Anybody joined? No.
No, no, sir.
No. So this is how the AWS console looks like. So
At the initial time, how we can open this AWS console?
that's a good question. You just need to type aws.amazon.com. That's it.
Okay.
Or you can just put it like uh, AWS account login.
Mm.
Management console, it will come. You will do sign in.
Okay.
My account is sign in. That's what it's telling me. If it is not, it will be asking for you username and password. Okay.
Mm.
It obviously is going to ask for like your root user email ID. You select the root user ID option and give your email ID and then give password. If required, you will be adding MFA, that's a two-factor authentication. You usually get some OTP or something, right? Similar to that. You create an MFA, you download any Microsoft Authenticator app, and then it gets for an MFA. It will generate an OTP for you. You type that OTP and then you log in. That's it. It's not a very big deal. That in day-to-day basis, that how you use, that's the same thing. Inside that, here if you see, it's like my account, it's like Shatish DevOps here, and account, organization, service quota, billing, cost management, and security credentials. This will be there, and this is my account ID. This is very
Mm.
important, because in any of the organization that you're going to work, they're mostly not going to give the root account ID. Okay, so this
Okay.
one I am created an account, and under that I am going to create you one username. You will by using that username you are going to log in, and then you have to give this account ID there. Okay, in the session you will be giving like your root email ID. It's to you will be giving your root ID, and then in the login page, whenever you go for any organization, the first thing you will be giving the root ID, you will giving the number, and then you will giving your username that they created for you and the password that they created for you. Okay, so this is how um, in the organizations that your login page will be. For now, you are already you are actually in the root account. You can just log in by using your email ID and password. So once your account, you set it up the account, you will know the difference, or maybe I can
Okay.
help you on that. Mm. So this how the console will be. So here you can see different regions. So what are these regions? You can see United States, Asia Pacific, Canada, Europe, and South America is there. So AWS has data centers all over the world. If I
Mm.
type um, AWS regions, these data centers are like, it's a very big area. um, you can see my screen, right?
Mm.
Currently these are the in the world, these are the areas where AWS has their own data center. It will be like a very large area where you will be having a multiple servers where they have their power backup, electricity, and AC, and whatever in like from the compute part, whatever they needed. These are the data centers. Okay, around the world, it's globally it's there. So why they are having it globally instead of one place? Example, like the main reason would be like, so you are in Bangalore. So if you deployed your resource nearby to like Hyderabad, then it will be very easy to you access that, so the latency will be very less for you. If suppose
Mm.
you deployed the region in the resource in northern Virginia, but you are sitting in Bangalore, to access the application, it will take too much of time. That is what we call latency. Latency means how long it takes. Less latency, if I say less latency, that means it taking less time. That's it. Okay. More latency means more time. You got it?
Ah, no.
Uh, um, so that's the reason they have multiple regions. So I'm just selecting my area, anything you can select now. You can select Mumbai, Singapore, whatever you want to select, and then go for the search bar and then select EC2. So first, I'm not going to explain about EC2 and then we will cover all the configurations. You see lot of options here, right? Instance type, spot request, volume, snapshot, load balancer, elastic. We will be covering all those topics later. First, you to get familiarized to create a machine from the cloud. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
Once you come after typing EC2, this is how the console would looks like. Then you launch instance. Hmm. Then you don't see anything, just it is asking for me name, right? I just provide Linux server. Okay. uh, I'm going to select Amazon Linux. I told it Linux has different distributions. Here itself you can see even SUSE Linux, Red Hat,
Linux.
Windows, Ubuntu, Mac OS, whatever the OS that you know, everything is available here. Okay, this Linux, they took the Linux uh, from the basic image and they made some customization and they are giving it as a Amazon Linux. That's what Amazon is offering. I just name my server name as Linux server and I will choose the Amazon Linux and leave all the options as default. To buy a laptop, what you prefer? You will be selecting your RAM and memory, right? See, that's
Hmm.
what the instant type. Mostly the T2 micro is free. We are getting one year free account, right? The T2 micro means one CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Okay,
Okay.
one CPU and 1 GB of RAM. This is free. If you change it to other types, like T2 small or something, you will be billable for that. You have to pay the amount. So I'm
Okay.
selecting T2 micro for this class, for this demo. Mm, and then what will be like? So here then I will be creating a key pair. Okay, what is this key pair mean? Okay, uh, so I just wanted
I
to
don't know.
you want to observe this thing. Key pair instance. So, mostly it's your VM. Okay, it's
Okay.
your VM. In this VM, if I generate a key, like a key pair, your public key will be sitting in this machine. I will specify more about these topics when we deep dive into this one. Okay, it's consider this public key as a log.
Okay.
Okay, it's consider public key as a log. When you select a public this public key, like either you can create a new one or if any existing key is there, you can use it. That I already have in key pair here, so that's fine. But I will add one more thing. I will do some AWS key -1. I'm giving a name to the key as AWS key -1 and selecting the type as RSA. For now, you can know up to only this. Okay,
Okay.
and then you select PPK. That is
PPT.
PPK. That is the extension that supported in Putty. I think you know a little bit about Putty. Putty is the it's a tool that we are using to connect to any external machine. Okay,
Hmm.
I given the key as AWS key 1 and I choose the format as PPK and then I'm giving a create pair. Okay, now if you see one AWS key hyphen PPK was get downloaded to my downloads. You can see,
Uh,
right?
ஒரு நிமிஷம் பின்னாடி போக முடியுமா?
Yeah, yeah.
இப்போ நம்ம அந்த கீ வந்து கிரியேட் கீன்னு
Uh,
கொடுத்தாலே அது டவுன்லோட் ஆயிடுமா?
ஆமா. You should
ஓகே.
just select and give a create new pair and then see I already added two. I already added AWS key for in this. I am for your purpose. I am showing you how I am creating that. Okay.
What is the type RSA?
The RSA is the encryption is there, right? People will call that's what I am explaining here. So I told there is a in the VM this public key will get there is two keys are there. One is private key and one is public key.
Okay.
Okay, this RSA is an encryption. How the encryption occurs, therefore, in order to the encryption to occur on these key files, there are different format as you see like RSA, EDS, there are different formats are there. Okay, if you here itself you see RSA and ED to 25519. The most common format for any encryption key is to be like RSA. Okay,
Okay.
so what happened here is like once I click this create new key and I given this AWS key hyphen one something I given, right?
One.
AWS hyphen key hyphen
Key
one,
hyphen one.
one I have given, right? This public key will get attached to the VM which is going to create, and this public key consider it as a key. Okay, actual key how it will be going to look. Okay, this public key you should consider it as a lock. The private key you should consider as an actual key of an lock. Okay, this private key it's got downloaded to my local as in the PPK format. Okay, you got it now.
Ah, yes.
Why then you can ask me why you are creating this key. The main reason to create this key is to like um, it's an visual virtual machine that I'm creating in cloud. uh, you have to access the mission, but only you have to access the mission. Rest if somebody don't have this private key, they should not access. That's the reason for it. Those who only have this private key will be able to access the mission. It's like an username and password only. Either you can rely on username password, but the but most suitable format for any VMs in the cloud to access is like always use the public key and private key. You got it?
Hmm.
While I'm connecting to this machine, I will be passing this public key in the putty, and the public key already sits in the VM. So this both gets interlinked, and it will know, yeah, I will be only unlocked by this private key, and I'm allowing it. So you are able to access this VM. So this how this going to be work. Okay. Um, so obviously the networking and subnets and all that, you can just leave it as it is. Uh, like allow SSH. You know what is SSH first? Uh,
Mm,
I'll tell you.
uh,
I'll tell you. No issues. So
SSH means I
SSH.
mostly seen in GitHub something.
Yeah, yeah. You
We
when
have to
you will
copy it.
be when you will be doing git clone, it is recommending you to whether you need that cloning URL in SSH or in HTTPS.
Mm,
Okay, SSS is an protocol like similar to that. You have TCP and you have HTTP and then you have HTTPS.
yes.
uh, these things you somewhere you saw in the internet while you try to browse any web page will be seeing it. SSH is just it's like an it's called shell secure shell protocol that is mostly used for accessing any Linux VMs. So and it will be going to work on port 22. So obviously there are so for any computer that you hold, uh, there are ports from 1 to 65535
Mm,
65,535 ports are there for any computers that you have also a laptop, right? You also have, in your laptop also there are this many ports, like you have 65 around 65 ports are there. Each and every ports are used for different purpose, and the most common the worldwide for SSH they will use the port number 22. For
okay.
HTTP the port number is 80 and HTTP it is 443. What is this HTTP and HTTPS means? So HTTP is like an
Hypertext.
hypertext transfer protocol. It's like a secure hypertext transfer protocol. That's it. So what is the difference between like HTTP and HTTPS means like by using this you can access any of the domain names, but I can create some web application which is very vulnerable to your computer. If you download from anything from my website, then there might be a chance that I will be reading all your data from your computer, right? That's where this HTTPS comes. So it makes your site very security.
Secure.
It's making your site as very secure. Like you, whenever you access the application from your laptop to the website, you are raising a request, right? So in between that, any hackers can be sitting there. Uh, and they will be trying to access the data what is getting transferred between his laptop and the website. So if it is running in HTTP, if the application is running in HTTPS, the data that is getting transferred from your laptop to the computer will be more secure and nobody from them, because in most of the websites you give a username password, right? If it is not encrypted, then that username and password might go to any of the hackers that sit in the online. Then your account,
Mm.
like any of your bank accounts get hacked, right? That's the reason all the website mostly should be run on HTTPS. Then TCP, it's like transfer protocol. It's mostly like whatever uh, TCP is like internal traffic that flows between flows for your computer to get communicated for between one service to another service. So mostly this HTTP and HTTPS everything falls under this TCP only. It's a basic thing. Okay.
Okay.
For now you can just understand this one, because if I started explaining everything in the depth itself you will be get confused. For now you just observe about these things alone, that would be fine.
Oh,
So and then after creating create bar, I'm leaving everything as a default settings, and then I'm going to launch the instance. Launch the instance is going to create me a Linux server. Okay.
okay.
It is said successfully launched the server. Let's wait for the server to spending. You see this now the server is started to create. It's an like a one CPU core and 1 GB of
On
RAM
G.
machine, with like a default configurations that is being created for me. It is currently in pending state, right? It started in running state, right? It started to running state. So once you started, what you do is like you just copy this public IP, you just click the server, and then you will be in the after immediately you click the server, in the down it will be giving you a public IP address. Okay. So let me explain what is public IP address. So in the world we are more, there are two types of IP formats are available. Okay. IPs.
Public IP
uh,
means
uh,
everyone can watch. Private IP means
Private
only
IP
the link
only,
which
yeah.
we shared, they can only access.
Yeah. First thing, for any IP, either it's a public or it's private, there are two formats are there. One is IPv4, one is IPv6. Okay. V6 it's as I consider like IPv4 mostly will be 0.0.0.0.0.0 hyphen 0. Similarly, like IP for V6, it will be in some decimals. You can like change C, 2CD or something, and then it will come forward slash, and then you will see 2CD. Like that, you will be seeing 2CD 41, and then 441, and then colon, one more one do, and then like uh, 234. You will be seeing a six parameters. That is what IPv6 is like. After like each colon, you will be having six things, six placeholders. Okay, that is IPv6. You don't get confused. Then we will see about IP. We mostly will not be seeing any IPv6. You ignore about this. Just focus on the IPv4.
Okay.
IPv4, like mostly any IPs in the world, it starts with like 0.0.0.0.02, and then it ends with 2 power 32.
Hmm.
Like consider like how much you just see like in the world in totally, only if you put like 2 power 32, how many IPs are coming, that is the public IPs that are available in the total world. That you know, right? That would be very less. That's the reason they introduced IPv6, because IPv6 range is too high. Okay. uh, so for now, this is enough. Later we can see when we are coming to networking and all, we will be seeing about this. So the same thing, the public IP which you see, it created a public IP and private IP. The public IP is it's your laptop. You are connecting to this AWS. How you connected? You connected to the internet and the internet routed here, right? Same way, if you want to connect from the publicly, then you have to use this public IP. If you are need to connect private IP means like your machine, the local machine that you're doing, it should be already in the cloud. or you should get an IP from this cloud, so you can access the machine from this by using the private IP. For now, you can just stick to the after once you click the machine, you will be getting an public IP before. You just copy that IP and then come to your putty, and this how the putty will be like. You just do some
Putty,
uh,
putty we have to
uh,
download it,
uh,
okay?
and just
That you
you just put this the URL that you got. I just put putty uh, putty download. Okay, putty download uh, for Windows 11 or something. You put anything. The first link it will come. Okay, just click that, and then it gives you download putty. Go click the download
okay.
putty, and then you know most of your here you see right whatever installation you want to do. Like mostly
64 bit.
all 64 bits for a x86 will be there. You just click it. It will be downloaded into local, and then click that extension from your download section, and then it will be get installed. After that you can just search putty, and then it will comes like this only.
Okay.
You got it. Installing a
Mm.
putty is very easy, and then you copy the public IP from here and paste it here in the putty. Once you paste, uh, listen carefully here. Like once you paste, just go to the SSH section, and then in the SSH you will be seeing your authentication section. Click that.
Okay.
It will be asking you for a private key file for authentication, right? You just click that. In the downloads, I'm still having the AWS key ppk file. It's a public file. Just copy it and
Mm-hmm.
open it. Once you're done, once you click the file, then just open. Then the server is
Okay.
going to open for you. Then just accept it. uh, then it will ask you for the login as what's your username and address. So for default, any Alpine Linux image that you create, the username will be ec2-user. I just want you to note it
Okay.
somewhere or something. Or you can see the recording. I will be sharing a friend at the class. So you should be logging as
Mm.
ec2-user. Then if you click it, you can see I'm logged into the machine now. Authentication is public AWS-1 Amazon Linux 2023. I logged into the machine. So this console, whatever you see, it is not your computer. This is a computer that sits in the cloud that you are accessing. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, one second. So and then if you do sudo su, so currently you log in as an EC2 insert. But in order to perform lot of operations in any of the uh, Linux machine, immediately after jumping to from an EC2 user, you have to jump to a root user. Any Linux
Root user.
machine
Okay.
will have a root user. Okay,
Mm.
then for that you have to type the command sudo su hyphen. If you do sudo su hyphen, now you see previously it was showing I logged in as EC2 user. I logged in as a EC2 user. From there I jumped to as a root user.
Root user.
Okay, now let me explain the folder structure here. Um, see, uh, what this slash means in the Linux mean, like in your Windows, you will be having most of the files in C and D drive, right? You will be like, if you see, if I go to my C drive, um, any other drive, C drive, if I click this one, what it comes? It comes like C and colon and slash, right? And the backslash it comes. So it is the root directory for my Windows. If I go for E drive, it will be like the same thing. E colon backslash. Like any path I move inside here. So if you see, it will be like E, like colon backslash the folder name.
That is like
The folder
slash
path.
means after that everything will be visible.
Ah, ah. So similar to that, in Linux, you will be having a root directory. The root directory is called a slash. Okay, the first directory actually starts with slash.
Okay.
Under the slash, how the folder structure has been done. This is what we are going to see. If I type, okay, I will tell each and every command. First, you observe this one. Mm, you see like lot of folder structures are there, right?
Yes,
um, the main folders for you now to be get familiarized is like these folders. What is this home, why this, what is this etc, where username, bin, temp and root directories are there, right? um,
okay.
so we have this EC2 user get created, right? um, you will be seeing the home directory for this EC2 under this home directory. I'm just navigating to the home. If I do ls, you see for any files for any of the users that you create in the Linux machine, those user details will be present in the home directory. So similar to that, in etc you will be having a system configuration files, like you download any software, right? Those software details, like you install like packages in the Linux by using some command lines. Those packages is coming to going to be come into your like etc folder. um, let's say finally, you see how many folders are there. It's like home is there, etc is there, and then what is there, what is there, where is there. So if you do any system executions or your application is running, it mostly going to generate some logs. Those generated files will be available in um, under your wars
Where
folder,
code?
and then USR folder. Like any system, their
Okay, okay.
config files will be like there, but some related to some system libraries, you will be having those system libraries in the USR folder. Like bin, it's very common. It's like binaries. Binaries, like if in order to any software that you download in the Linux, so the files will be get accumulated, like going to be placed in etc user and the bin. Binaries will be go settled in binaries, libraries comes to here, and then the config files will come to etc. So config files inside, in mostly you will not be updating anything in the binaries and the libraries, unless you've had any issue. In the etc config files, it's directly it's a configuration file. You just open the configuration file, you make some changes, and then you save it, and then you restart the service. Temporary directory instance, you will be having some temporary whatever temporary files that you have, like some any log files or some user management files. Wait a second, I'm actually having a water. uh, and then the root directory. So only for the root user files to get accumulated, we have an for root user there is a separate directory has been created. So that's how the folder structure will be there.
We
um,
are in root user.
huh?
Not it. We are in root user now.
We are in root user, but the root, whatever the files that you execute, that gets saved in the root folder. I'm not talking about the user, I'm talking about the folder for root. Like for other usernames like EC2 and all, we are having those user details in the home directory, right? But for root, we have a separate directory for root, so those details will be get saved in the root directory. Okay, you got it.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Mm. Only these are the like main folders first you have to be understand. So obviously what else is there? Run is there, some system configurations will be there, and then sys is there. This is like some system binaries, whatever it's required for system for Linux server to run, those things will be available in the sys. Um, and then locals, like any local variable declarations will be happen here, and OPT is also similar to this USR files only. Mostly like library files will be sitting under this USR and the opt, and then you will be having some media and mount folders. We will be discussing about more about this mount and all in the upcoming classes. And the same thing, libraries and special libraries and binary files, like any Windows, you after you download like your Windows, you can see this program file set. It's similar to that only. You
Mm.
have this extensions, you have this libraries there in the C program files. That's similar to that only. We have this many folders in Linux. So any doubts up to that? I just want to like you not be getting everything into mind. Just I want to make sure like whatever I'm trying to say that you're getting that.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Till now it's okay.
Okay,
Everything is
okay, okay. So the next will be like we'll be seeing the basic commands. So okay, once you logged into Linux, what I told is like give the EC2 login username and then switch it to root user because you can perform higher operations as a root user than the EC2 user. Once you
uh,
came
uh,
um,
1 minute. Can you go off
here,
product? Yeah. SEO means we have to switch it.
yeah, sudo
Uh,
switch user. That is
uh,
what she said.
before you put an SEO.
Yeah, this one
Uh,
I couldn't get. What are you trying to say?
இந்த ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து நீங்க எது எஸ்யூன்னு போட்டீங்க
Uh,
எஸ்யூ ஐஃபன் போட்டது
No, no,
எதன் எது
it didn't work. If I see
ஓகே ஓகே
sudo is an like a prefix. If I don't give sudo in the front, it will be obviously going to ask my password for the root user. Obviously, this virtual machine I created by default, it has no password has been set. So there is no way for you to get log in as a root user here. Okay. Um, to explain like EC2 user is there, and then root user is there. In order for you to switch from EC2 user to root user, you need the command as su hyphen. Okay.
ஓகே
When but when I execute this su hyphen, it is asking for my password. But I don't know the password for my EC2 user because I used a key value pair, right? I used a public and private key could login as a EC2 user, and no password has been set for this EC2 user, right?
ஓகே
You got it or not?
yes 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 it is,
Uh,
you are freshly installed no so we
Uh,
don't have the
I know I
password
don't have the password for this one. So if I add sudo means in order for you to execute any commands, if you are not in root user shell, currently I am actually in the root user shell, so I can execute any command shell. But as an EC2 insert to switch to root, I don't have the password. Also, I am not in like any admin user here. So root is the admin user. If but this by default when you create a virtual machine, this EC2 user is part of an pseudo group.
okay
Okay, that I can show you here. If I type, um, sorry, I think Putty has stopped. Okay, you can see my screen, right?
yes
By default, you see these are the groups that EC2 user has an access. Um, but if I use sudo command, like if I use sudo in front of this one, so this will be this command will be executed as an admin. Okay, for any command, like if in any command whatever you see in the Linux, whatever I show in the slides, if you run it sudo before that, it will be going to act as an it will going to run as an admin. Okay, that's the reason I have used sudo su hyphen. So by using that, I am switching from EC2 user to root user. Okay, you got it.
okay mm.
Uh, you got it right, or you want to me explain one more
ah,
time?
yeah okay okay
Okay, okay, right. Um, so if you go for my EC2 machine now. So let's start with some basic commands. I'm logged in as a root now. Okay, if I do ls means like list a directory. So in Windows, you
Mm.
will be obviously seeing the files by using the GUI. Here I don't have the GUI. If I type ls, obviously there is no files here. Let's move to some other directory. Um, like I am moving to root is ready. If I do ls, you can see right like what are the files and folders that are available inside this root folder.
In
See
directory.
I found like if you put like slash means that's a root folder. I'm actually
Mm.
cd means like change directory. Okay,
Mm.
like how you navigate from the windows, you go move there and come back, you do right the same thing by using cd only. You have to be navigate to any folder, you have to do cd hyphen home. So you will be going inside that. If you come cd dot dot, it will be coming back of the root. If I do ls,
Okay.
it will be cd
Mm.
home. I
Okay.
get inside of this home directory. cd dot dot means one step back. Okay,
Backspace like that.
one step back.
Okay.
um, and then you what is like let's move there. So pwt, if you type pwt, it will give like present working directory. Okay, what's my present working directory? It's pwt. Let me move to cd var or something, and then type what the command like pwt. Then you see it's giving what's your current because you cannot see here, right? You cannot know because you just navigate and you don't know where you are. If you type pwt, you will be get to know where your control it sits now. So you are executing the
Mm.
command from the
On
var
which
folder.
folder we are there?
uh, so some like that. So similar to that. um, so now I'm going to create a directory by using mkdir. That is means make directory. So I'm going to make a directory uh, like root, and then I'm going to create some folder as test. And then if you see, if you're after running it, if I do ls, obviously you will not be able to see. Why the reason? Type the pwt, because I created the test folder in the root directory, but I'm actually inside the var folder. That's the reason I'm not able to see it. If I come one step back and then type ls, here you will be seeing a test folder. Do you see a test folder here? Yeah, you see a test folder, right? Because I created that in the root directory. Okay.
Okay.
If like now let me navigate to the test folder. Cd test, I am navigating to the test now. So I am checking for any directories there, no. So inside this I want to create multiple directories. So if I do mkdir hyphen p, if I do like one folder folder one. Okay, if I do folder one, make like make directory folder one, it will going to create me one directory. But I am going to create a series of directories. Inside the folder one, I should be having a subfolder.
Okay.
Subfolder one. So if I directly execute this one, what happens is like it will say no such file or directory can make this directory. It okay, it will come, it will throw an error. Because I'm trying to do is like I'm actually in the root slash test folder. I'm trying to create one folder. Inside the folder I'm going to create a subfolder one. uh, and it's directly throwing an error. If you have the argument as an hyphen p, then it will be get created. Now see, I have executed the same command, but I provided hyphen p means if you are going to create a folder inside a folder, then you should specify the hyphen p here. Okay. uh,
திருப்பி சொல்ல முடியுமா அது?
yeah, so I'm actually sitting inside the uh, root test folder, right? Any issues in that? You got that right?
Mm.
When I try to create an my main goal is to like create a subfolder inside a folder. But when I try to run this command mkdir folder slash subfolder, what it throws, mkdir cannot create a directory folder or subfolder directory, no such file or something. It directly thrown me an error, right?
Mm.
it was not able to understand that I am want an subfolder 1 inside the folder 1. So after I given the argument hyphen p mkdir hyphen p, it is able to separate this. If I type ls now, once again, what happens to this cell? uh, if you see, there is only one folder called folder 1, fol and 1. If I navigate to that flo1, what I'm going to see, I'm going to have that subfolder here.
Okay.
You got it? To create a
Mm.
folder in folder, you should be using mkdir p for folder 1 slash subfolder 2 for any folder that you will be creating here. So
Okay.
then their command will be like, inside this subfolder, I'm navigated to this subfolder now. If I click pwt, now you see I'm actually created a test. Under that I am having a folder 1. Inside that I'm created a test folder. Now I'm going to create a text file. How I'm going to create a text file? Usually in the Windows, what you do, you click it and it will ask for new,
To
and then you create a folder or you create any file, right? But here what you have to do, similar to that, you have to use touch demo.txt. Txt is a text file extension. If you do touch, then then if you do ls, you can see demo.txt file has been created in the subfolder 1, right? um,
for that command, we have to touch touch to create a
Create a
folder.
file, create a file, any
Mm.
extension. If I am doing like uh, touch like test dot log file. Hmm. If I type ls, you will see two files are there, right? Demo.txt is there, test.log file is there. This is how you create a file in the Linux. You got it?
Okay. Mm.
Um, and obviously, like, some command is there, like, uh, so I am going to copy this text.file, right? It's a copy. Copy means you will be having a copy of this text.log file in the subfolder, as well as in the folder that you're going to move. Just do, I'm actually in the subfolder now. In the subfolder, what are the files there? Demo.txt and text.delphi. And then if you go back, um, if you go back to one folder back, in the folder one, you are having only the subfolder, right? You don't have any other files here. So what I'm going to execute is like cp subfolder,
Okay.
subfolder, and then I'm going to do demo, um, like demo or like any type of file, test.log file,
It's
and
dot
put
one.
dot. What is the dot means? Copy, you just
Only
navigate,
copied.
copy, go to the subfolder where I have this test.log file, copy it and paste it here. What's your current directory is folder 1, right? So it will be copy and going to paste the, give the file for you here. If I am entered, then you do ls and enter. Previously when I was typing ls, you see I had only the subfolder. Now I am having the subfolder as well as this test.log file. That's how the copy will work. Okay.
Mm.
See,
Can you repeat this?
uh,
It's a little bit confused.
so
CP, we copied.
cp, you just give the folder name, and then
Mm.
you can just give the directory where you want to keep it, and then it will be copied.
Okay. The dot means we
Let
have
me
to paste there.
dot means the current directory.
Okay.
Dot means current directory. My current directory is folder 1. Let me do for one more
Mm.
file. What was there? Like demo file we created, right? Demo, and then I dot.
Mm.
Then you will be seeing that, yeah, demo.txt file came here now. cp
Okay.
subfolder 1 demo.txt file, and then space, and then dot. Dot means current directory. My current directory is folder. uh,
Okay, now I understand,
uh,
sir.
Either you can give command like this. Now I will do one thing. Then there is a command to delete a file. Okay, that is rm hyphen rf,
Remove.
remove.
Okay.
That is called remove. If you put rm hyphen r means recursive, recursive means folder
Force.
deletion, f means force. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like always remember hyphen r in most of the Linux commands are recursive. Recursive means folder wise. um,
Okay.
even including the folder. Rm means remove, and then hyphen rf, and then you give a text.log file. and give whatever the files you want. You can give multiple files also, and you give that, and then press the tab. You no need to type it. Okay, if you know my
Okay.
files going to be start with test.log, once after, immediately you know only in this folder I have one is folder and two are files. One T only TE starts with only for this file. After you type TE, give tab, then it will be auto completer. You no need to type st.log. It will get auto completer. Similar to D, I type D and then I press the tab, so it will be auto filling there.
Okay.
So now I'm deleting these files. Now after execution, now you check there is no files are there. You got it?
RM hyphen RF.
Ah, so you no need to be like remembering everything. You just observe it. Later, then you can practice it. Because if I start, if your plan is to like remember everything um, and you want to perform everything, that will become that will take this section too long. So for now, you can understand this one, and then
Mm.
if I do rm hyphen subfolder itself, I'm deleted that folder itself now. I created that folder. Now you
Okay.
see in the my I'm currently in the folder one. I'm currently in the folder one, but I deleted the subfolder itself now.
Subfolder
So
now.
uh,
Okay.
because now I'm going to create uh, what I'm going to create. I'm going to create an directory A1. Um, I'm getting multiple directories and B2. So this is how the folder structure will be. So we see already seen how to create a folder in folder. So now my folder will be now like A1 and B2. If I create that and do LSF and LTR, you can see right in the PWT in the current folder one, I created a folder called A1. Inside that, it created a folder called B2.
Okay.
I will navigate to A1 and then LSF and LTR. So here you can see in the A1 folder, uh, in the A1 folder, I am having a B2. What I'm going to do now is like I am going to move this B2 folder under the folder one. Okay,
Okay.
listen guys, that's where this mv command comes. Mv can be used for two reasons. Either you can rename the file, or you can move the file. Both the operations can be done. That's how I will you can see, observe it here. I'm just giving mv b2 slash test slash folder one. mv, it knows it's the current directory. Is like current directory means I have to give dot, and then slash means I have the b2. Move it to the test folder one. If you execute this one, now you check for ls here, you will not be seeing the b2 folder. If you go back one step and do ls hyphen ltr, you will be seeing the b2 and a1 files here.
Okay.
You got it how I did this perform like mv.
Mm.
It's just like a moving the folder from one folder to another folder. You got it?
Yes. Yes.
Um, so I'm going to create one more. I'm going to create a file called um, like linux.txt. In that I made some spelling mistakes. Like consider I made the file like this. Okay, I created I created some file, but there's some spelling mistake. I want to correct that. For that also you can use mv command. You use linux. What I told it, if you after typing some words, you can press a tab, it will be autofilled. Now it
Okay.
came. Now whatever the right spelling you want, you would just type it and txt. See, it can be used now. If you type lsf and ltr, then it will be used to like uh,
Okay.
linux.
Rename.
It actually renamed the file. There's the same renaming things that you found here. It's coming from just we are doing the renaming things. Okay, so that's what the basic commands. So and then uh, tab I told for um, the auto completion. So cat and less is there. So cat means what I do is like um,
What are the text
um,
inside?
mm, mm, mm. So cat means viewing the file. If you currently view the Linux file, you will be having null way. Welcome. welcome to Linux. Ah, if I do cat of the Linux file, you will be able to see the content of the file. That is the cat command. That's where the cat command needed. Okay. Um, then what else commands is there? Like less is there. Less means if you have uh, like it's similar to cat only. So, but whenever you have some, but when you type oh, one second. But when you type like less linux.txt file, it will be obviously going to give the content, but in the editor format. If I type less.ini, it is giving me the editor format, so you can edit it here directly, and then you can close it. It's similar to the cat thing.
How
So
to type in that once you created VIL?
that VA will tell that will coming. So for now you can just observe this one. And then apparently if I have any log files, um, like mm, so so basically how this file is going to work, I need some content once again. Mm. I'm just needed some content assembly. Okay, so now let me explain what is like. If I do cat, mm, no, if I do, there's a db dog file, you know what content is there, but I want to see only the last few lines. How I can do? By using tail, that db log dot file, you will be able to see the last 10 lines. If I
Okay.
specify like
Enter.
hyphen n2 or something, it will be specifying the last two lines. That's what the use of this command. See that if I do cat db.log file, you can see by default you will be seeing the entire content. By using tail, you will be seeing only the last 10 lines, but this file has only the very limited number of lines. So if I use tail hyphen n, the last three lines or something db.log file, then I will be seeing the last three lines. If I use ed hyphen n like 3 db
First
log dot
two.
file, the first three lines will I can see. So that's the use of tail and head. You got it.
Yeah, yeah.
uh, then the man is there for in order to like mm, in order to for you to explore more about these options, like every time you can use this man. Whatever the type a command type, just after this man type the command what you want, then it will says what is this command, print number of print name of current working directory, what are the arguments that are available for this command, what version, what author. So those details, if you want to read those instruction details, then you always type this man. So that will be, then you will be know what are the options that are available on that command line. You got it.
Yeah.
Then history means like if you type history, so whatever commands that after I entered to this session, whatever the commands I typed, you can
Okay.
see the commands here in history. So I started
Okay.
with this group EC2, right, in from the current session. So all the commands are actually recorded here. That's why it's showing me. So in the history you can see the list of commands. If suppose you want to like copy and run it in the next tab, what you can do is like just drag it like this and then right click. You this copy, this control V will be work. Okay, what you do for
Okay.
copy paste, you do control C and then you do control V, right? It
Mm.
will be not working in Linux. For that you have to drag it and then you have to right click. If you right
Okay.
click, then the command will be executed. Or if you want to do execute any of the previous command, you just click
Up
like
arrow.
use the up arrow. If you
Okay.
click any up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, up arrow, any commands will come. Whatever the commands you become,
Recently we
by
used
this
it.
list, by this order it will come. Then you can just use the command and then enter. Um, and then if you want to do repeat the last command, and the colon colon to repeat the last command here. So that's it. So and then one more thing is like control R. So control R is like I typed n number of commands here, right? So I want to get something. If I type like man, it will be recommending the command. After you do control R, it will be recommending. So what are the commands that you typed for like man wt, and then you do right. You click this right arrow, and then the command will come, and then you can execute.
Come again, sir.
Um,
Feel
one second. Control R
control R.
R and
Okay.
then type whatever the command that you actually in the history, whatever the command is there. Like I type add means, so this command is coming, right? You see,
Okay.
I just typed he, but it is
HE.
giving me you whether you want to execute this command or not. I
Okay.
want to execute. Then
Okay.
click the right arrow in your
Right
arrow
arrow.
keys are
Okay.
there.
Arrow key.
If you
Okay.
click the right arrow key, then it will come. Then you can enter and then you can use the command.
Okay.
So these are like basic little shortcuts that you can use while learning itself. You should use that will be very helpful for you. Mm, and then uh, so we will be only seeing this Linux thing. Uh, so obviously um, we will cover one more topic like this file permission. Obviously you should have been questioned me. I was thought you will be questioning something. So I was typing this ls-ltr, right? While
Okay.
typing that you could have been uh, you could have been seen like if I type ls, it will be just giving whatever the folders and the files that exist in the folder one.
Read right.
If I do ls hyphen l means list. Okay, hyphen l means list. It will be giving the file like this. Okay, then if I do t means based on the timing you give. Okay, so based
Okay.
on the timing it will give. Then you see previously when I typed lsfnl, now after I told timing, I wanted it as an timing. What happened is like it got reversed because this was initially created, this again after I created b1, after I created the next.txt, after I created, now if I uh, press r, that it will be reversed. B2 will go up, A1 will come stays here, Linux will be like the timing order will be changed. That is this T and R command is based on timing and R. Okay, that's what this command like lsf and ltr means. And one more thing will be like if you type lsf and ltra means hidden files. In like in your desktop also you'll be seeing some hidden files. You similar to that, if there is any hidden files, mostly the hidden files always starts with I can create something. I do touch dot
LSAL means.
uh, that's what I'm telling. Touch dot env I have typed, right, but if I do ls, you I actually created a file called .env, but I'm not seeing that. Why? If I do ls hyphen la, then you will be seeing the file. Now you see, right?
Okay.
Because dot means if you create any file that starts with dot extension, it is an Linux will automatically consider it as a hidden file.
Hidden file. Okay.
Okay, so that's the difference. Now coming to here, you see, um, after I'm typing LSF and LTR, first of all it is marked as D. This is marked as an hyphen. What's the difference between this? The D points to directory. The first
Okay.
hyphen here points to file. That's the difference. Okay,
Okay.
So if the D means its directory, that first type, and by using this only you will be able to indicate. By not in most of the times this color segregations will not be there in some of the lines. Mostly it will be there. If that there is not, by using this only you will be able to identify whether it's in directory or it's in file. By using the first LSF and LTR, if it is first initialization directory, then you should navigate into the directory. Then it's hyphen, then it's a file. So that's the
Okay.
basic thing of this one. Then you see something here, right? Then you will be seeing some 6 July, uh, like you see July 1 and you see some time stamp, right? This is different. This 6, what it means, like it is like size of the folder, okay? The size of the file, obviously, in the bytes, okay? You know the difference between bytes, kb bytes, and difference is there, right? So it is
Mm.
just giving the size of the file and folders, this column. This is giving the timing.
Okay.
One second. Mm. Then you see, right, here it is mentioned as root, here it is mentioned as root, here it is mentioning some wrx or hyphen x or hyphen x. What that mean? That is what I'm
Uh,
going to tell you.
root and group.
Yeah, yeah, I'll tell you. See, the first one, it points to a directory. After that, the three things are there, wrx. So the R means read. The next one is mean write. W means write. X means execute. You just remember these things, and then each understanding permission, each file directory as an user, group, and others. That is what it specifically means. Here you see, right, this section, this complete session, here it is, this is user, this is
Users.
group,
Okay.
this is user, this is group, and O means others. For this root user, this is user column, this is group column. For rwx means this user have permission here, like read, write, and
Mm.
execute permission.
Execute.
uh,
Mm.
the same thing, the next r hyphen x means this group has read permission, and then hyphen x means execute means it has only read and execute permission. Same thing
Okay.
for the others. The next r hyphen x is there, right? For others it is the same thing. So that's
Okay.
what it actually points. So by default, if it is like root, if it is pointing like uh, first it is pointing to hyphen and then rwx. The first rwx here actually means read means the point is 4, write means 2, execute means 1. Okay, I want to remember that. But if it
Okay.
is showing like rwx, then it's like 4 plus 2 plus 1 plus is equal to 7.
Mm.
If it is like r hyphen x, it's just like only r hyphen x means, then it has only the read and execute permission, because it is 4, it is 1, and it is 5.
Mm.
Then if it is like only read then hyphen hyphen means, then it is 4, then there is no hyphen hyphen means there is no permission. So there is no permission for write and execute to the others, so it is just like a 4. This is how the file username and permission is going to be changed. What I'm
Okay.
going to show you now, once I start updating this one, you will know. I'm using a command called change owner, and I'm giving that a EC2 user, and then I'm giving a db log file. What I given, this ch1 means change owner, change this owner of this file to
Okay.
ec2 user, and give what for which file. After I executed it, after I do lsf and ltr, now you see the difference. After I executed change owner file, given the username and given the file name for this user, this has been modified, the username has been
Okay.
modified. Now I
Okay.
do one more thing, there's something command called change group. Change group,
Mm.
because for each and every user that you create in Linux, a group will be automatically created. Okay, now I'm getting a change group ec2 user, same db.log file. Then now you see, previously it
The
was
group
root,
also
now
changed.
group also got changed. That's a difference.
Okay.
Now what I'm going to execute, you see this file permission, as only like a uh, like I want to modify these permissions for the EC2 user. Okay, here is equal to see, it is only like read. You can only see, right, it has only read and write permission. It doesn't have the execute permission, right? for the EC2 user. How I'm going to modify that? That's where this command comes called change mode. If I perform
Perform.
like change mode, um, what I told, this is currently 6. Okay, this R is 4, right is 2, then it's actually 6. If I give it a 7, and then here it is like R means 4, right? 7 4, and
Mm.
then for others also, the first 7 points for user, the second 4 points for group, the four other for last 4 points for others. Okay, if I do
Mm.
7 4 4 and then db dot log file means, to now if I execute lsf and ltr, now you see x has been added. That means for this file, and the color has been changed. You can see for any execute file,
Yes,
that
sir.
way the color will be changed. So just a file, how you maintain the permission. Then now what I want to do is like change mode. um, Previously I have given some number. Now what I'm doing is like change mode plus x. Plus x means I'm going to give execute permission for all the things. Previously I
Okay.
added only for the user. Now for others it is like r hyphen hyphen. For groups and others it's like r hyphen hyphen, right? Now this x is going to come place for db.log file. If I put change mode plus x dot log file, now if you check, uh, plus x has been added here, right? You can see.
Mm.
So this is how you are going to change permissions for any file, like the users and everything. So this is what I was explaining in this file. um, you got it.
Yes, sir. Yes, Satish.
uh, so obviously if I start va editor, that will take some more time, but it's easy only. But let's start covering the topics from and from the next class. uh, so obviously there are a lot of things are there. Okay. uh, Maybe we can get completed first year class. It took some time, um, because see, even if I explain, you will get to understand, and then you will be forget. If you start working on it, you will be able to understand. So try to create an
Yeah.
AWS account today, and try to create an EC2 machine. Have this demo class with you. I will check with Vijay like how I have to share this class. I'm not sure about that. uh, I will try to upload the file and get shared with you. And one more guy was right, he should also be able to uh, read about the Linux. I think he is already aware of about Linux. Let's see.